Okay. All right. Now I have begun the recording. All right. Everyone can see my screen, right? Can you all
Yes,
see
ma'am.
my screen? Okay, good, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Students, this is uses and gratifications model that we are going to discuss next. We have been discussing models related to effects of media a lot. Remember, this particular model, it is known as audience-centered model. I'm going to write it in the chat box. Uh, Okay, audience-centered model, which means it pays more attention to audience. Like it considers audience the most. It considers that audience are active, and they are deciding for themselves. So we'll talk more about this in a minute. Okay. Now, uses and gratifications model. I want to tell you another important thing. These models, especially agenda setting model and uses and gratifications model, these models, in this course I am only trying to familiarize you with these models. However, you will read these theories or models in detail at length in an upper level course, in a 400 level course. Its code is 409 and its title is communication theories, mass communication theories. When you take this course, you will be reading them in detail. However, for this course, my job is only to familiarize you with the basic concepts. Okay, I'm not going into really too much details, like every nitty gritty detail of this model. You will do this in another upper level course. Another thing about uses and gratifications is, if you recall, when we began this semester, the very first activity that I assigned you, if you recall that activity, you will come to know that that activity is related to this model actually. Now let me tell you that what the activity was, and then we'll talk about that. Well, activity was, I asked you to talk about your media consumption patterns. Actually, I gave you a question and I asked you to come prepared to talk about it. The question was, what are your media consumption patterns? How do how does your consumption gratify your needs or satisfy your needs? Does anyone remember that activity? The very first activity that
Yes,
we
ma'am.
did.
I do remember
yes,
that
yes,
activity.
मैम.
Yes,
इसके अंदर
ma'am.
हमने
Okay,
अब
good,
लोगों
good. Yes, Asad
Yes,
says that he remembers it, and Maheen says she remembers it. Okay, let me tell you very briefly what we did in the class. I gave you, the question was, talk about your media consumption patterns, and then tell me how do your patterns gratify your needs, satisfy your needs. I gave my example. I said that I am a communication teacher, I am an educationist, and I am a communication scholar, and this is my need to stay updated, to stay informed about what is happening in my surroundings. Remember? And then I said, in order to meet my needs, I go to dawn.com's website every day. I go to New York Times website every day. And I kind of scroll down the page to see what is happening in the world, to come to know, okay, what are important events for the day. Along with that, I use Twitter a lot. And on Twitter, um, I follow important journalists, famous journalists, so that whenever there is anything important or they're talking about something important, I get notification. See, that is my use of media. That is my media consumption pattern. And I have this use because of my social need and my psychological need. My social need, I am a communication teacher. I need to stay alert and updated. Because of that, I use media in this way. And I have a psychological need as well. Psychologically, I have this pressure that, okay, being a communication expert, I should be aware of my surroundings. See, and then there is this use of media, and then there is gratification. By the way, what is the meaning of the term gratify?
satisfy.
ma'am.
Satisfy.
How it satisfies our need.
Good,
Media.
shabash, shabash. The word gratify or gratification means satisfaction or kind of pleasure. Okay, has anyone ever seen that program that used to come on ABC? How, who who wants to be a millionaire? And later Indian media also kind of made a program on the same pattern. Its title was Kaun Banega Crorepati.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. I've seen
Now,
that.
many people would watch that program for various needs. Like there is this use of media that you watch that particular program. Some people would watch it for excitement. You see a person who is winning money, and this is kind of exciting to see him losing money or winning money. Also, sometimes there is educational appeal, like person is asking, the person is answering questions based on his knowledge, right? So there are so many reasons. Again, there can be social needs or psychological needs because of which people tend to watch a particular media. I'll again refer to the same example, to the same activity that we did in class. I don't remember who that person was, but there was a student in the class when we did this activity. He said that, ma'am, I play games a lot. I have PlayStations and I play games. See, there was this need, maybe psychological need, maybe the person felt inclined toward playing games. And then he said that um, playing games kind of gives him a vicarious experience or any sort of experience. Then there were students in class who answered that that some of them said that they have subscribed to various YouTube channels. There were some female students in class. A couple of them said that some of them had subscribed to cooking channels on YouTube. See, there are various patterns. People use media in order to gratify whatever needs, desires they may have. All right, this is what uses and gratifications say. Now, before I begin, I have briefly explained to you what the model is about. Let's see what we have in the coming slides. I'll be explaining it side by side, and whenever you have a question, please do not hesitate to interrupt me and ask questions. Okay. Okay, this is my next slide. Can everyone see it? Can you all see it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, I'll stop here to go to the the waiting room and to see if there is anyone waiting for me to let him enter. All right. Now, okay, the proposition or the postulate of this model is simple, and you can see it on screen. It says why individuals choose certain media at various times and what they get out of their connection with the media. Now, some of you may be more interested in seeing news channels. Just give me a minute, excuse me. All right. So I was saying that each of us have different sort of needs. Each of us have different sort of tastes, different sort of expectations, different sort of desires. Maybe some of you are more interested in horror movies. However, there may be some more people who are interested in comedy movies, and then there are people who are interested in reading newspaper. However, there are people who are interested in watching television. Like people are different. However, this model deals with the basic question that why individuals, what are the motives because of which people choose a certain media, and what sort of satisfaction or gratification they are seeking out of that. This is the main postulate of this model. I'll move to my next slide now. All right. I'm very sorry, actually there is a mistake in the slide that you see here. This slide, the content that you see in the slide, it discusses 7 different elements that are main elements of the model. I just noticed that after number 1, number 2 is missing. So number 2 comes right before the word needs that you see on the screen. So this is number 1, then number 2 comes right before the word needs, then number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and then number 7. All right, these are 7 elements that come in this model. This is a formal statement that what you see on screen is actually formal statement for uses and gratifications model. And this statement was proposed in 1974. I will write it in the chat box for you. The statement that you see on the screen was proposed by Lew Katz. I'll only write uh, their last names. Okay. So in the chat box, I have written the names, only the last names of scholars who gave the statement of uses and gratifications that you see on the screen. Although research related to uses and gratifications began in 1930s, 40s, and then there were many scholars who were working on people's choices for using media in 1960s and 70s. But you see what happened is in 1974, these three scholars whose names I have mentioned in the chat box, they gave this formal statement that you see on the screen, which makes a proper theoretical model, which makes which presents use and gratifications as a proper well articulated theoretical framework, right? So what this model says, let's talk about elements now. As I said, use and gratifications has these main elements. So these elements are concerned with, number one, it says people have social and psychological origins of needs. Number two, okay? Like I said, my social need, according to my social performance in society, like I am a communication teacher, this is my need to read newspaper, to stay informed. This is my need to get to know what people who are famous in my field, what they are saying. For that reason, I try to stay active on Twitter, and I try to stay active. I try to read newspapers as well. See, people have social and psychological origins of needs which generate expectations. So I have this need of staying informed, and I have this expectation that if I read newspaper, I will stay informed, I will be informed. So people have social and psychological origins of needs which generate expectations of mass media and other sources, which lead to differential patterns of media exposure or engagement in other activities. Now, I want to ask you, I will stop here and I want to ask you this question. Do we have differential patterns of media? Like, can I say that Shaista Khalid's pattern of use of media is different from Asad Ali Sheikh's use of media, pattern of usage of media, or Noor Ilahi is your name, Noor Ilahi, or Noor Ilahi's name,
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
Noor Ilahi's pattern of media usage. Do people have different patterns of media usage?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Any example? Like I have given my example multiple times. Can anyone else give any example? Like
Yes, ma'am.
what
Me.
okay, tell me what kind of media you use and how does that gratify your need?
Yes, ma'am. Like if I give example of myself and my brother is a cricket fan, and he tends to watch videos on YouTube related to players, cricketers.
Very good.
And whereas if I talk about myself, I like to watch the videos of news TV anchors and
Very
videos
good.
related to mass communication, because I myself is a mass communication student.
Very good.
So this is there's this difference between me and my brother,
Yeah.
and that's how we gratify our needs.
Very good.
We both are different.
Good job. Good job. Anyone else? Just one more example.
Ma'am, as I am a science student, so I like to watch science related shows on TV, and someone other might not be interested in science related shows.
Very good. I remember you gave this example when we had this activity in class. I'll give you another example from my son. He is now 12 years old, mashallah. When my son was 4 or 5 years old, he would his favorite movie was How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sure you all have watched that movie. It's a very famous movie. So that was his favorite, most favorite movie. And later, now they have a sequel on Netflix, like they have season as well. where they made short like episodes of the same movie. So that was his favorite show, How to Train Your Dragon. And you see, that was according to his psychological need. He was a 5-year-old child. Usually children have intimacy with animals, there was an animal dragon in that movie, so that was his favorite movie. That was his need according to his psychological mindset at that time. And he would like to see everything that could fly and that could help humans, like that sort of psychological mindset he had. And you see how by watching that movie, like he was his sought need was being gratified. So again, with reference to what um, Shaista just said and Maheen just said, let's read this statement and let's see if it makes more sense for us. So it says the elements of use and gratification say that people have social and psychological origins of need, which generate expectations of mass media, which lead to differential patterns of media exposure, resulting in need gratification. There can be two consequences. Either need is can you see my cursor? I'm moving my cursor. Can you see it
Yes,
moving?
ma'am. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So after differential patterns of media usage, there are two things that can happen. Either your needs are gratified, or there can be some consequences, perhaps mostly unintended ones. Now, what is the meaning of unintended consequences? Can anyone tell me? What are unintended consequences?
Unintentionally,
Yes,
that we don't want to gratify or something.
very good. See, something that you did not plan, but that has happened. Now, let's say if there is a person or a teenager child who is too much into gaming, like he loves to play games a lot. So by playing games, just give me a minute. By playing games, of course, his needs are being gratified. But what if he is indirectly, or in a way he is learning too much violence or too much aggression? Then that this is unintended consequence. Okay, so differential patterns of media usage or media exposure can lead to either need gratification or consequences that may be unintended ones. I will give you another example, and then I may ask you to give me some more examples related to.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sure.
Ma'am, Rameen wants to join. I think she's in the list. She just messaged me if you can accept her request.
Sure. I was actually sharing my screen. That is why I was not able to see if anyone
Okay.
was in the waiting room. Thank you for letting me know. I just let her
Okay.
in. Yeah. Since I'm sharing my screen, so the options are quite kind of limited. You see on my screen. All right. So I was talking about, I was actually on the last slide. I was on this slide. And I was talking about these elements of uses and gratifications. So I was talking about unintended consequences, and I gave you an example which was related to what if someone is like even from movies, if a person is getting some sort of gratification or satisfaction, there may be this unintended consequence of learning aggression or violence. Similarly, let's say if I'm giving you another example related to unintended consequences. Let's say if I start watching dramas on Hum TV. Earlier I start watching them only for entertainment or some sort of relaxation for my free time. But after watching a couple dramas, if I am just glued to TV in a way that I kind of forget what is happening in my surroundings, that is again another unintended consequence that has happened. Like I didn't plan it to go that way, but that is an unintended consequence. Does that make sense? Does this make sense to all of you? Any question so far, or should I proceed?
Ma'am,
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Ma'am, there can be another example like
Sure.
we all use Facebook and Twitter, and we can get ourselves updated about the latest news from Facebook and Twitter. But there can also be like consequences of that. Like there can also be some fake news on Facebook and Twitter.
Very
So
good.
also be
Yes.
unintended ones.
Very good. That is another very good example. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Okay. Now, here you see just the same postulate of the model, the same statement, but in a diagrammatic way, in the form of a sketch. See, there are social and psychological origins of needs, which generate expectations of media, which lead to differential patterns of media exposure, and this media exposure or media's usage can result in two things: either there can be need gratification or there can be unintended consequences. The same thing, the same statement that you see here in the form of a model. All right. Okay, this is the last slide of my today's lecture. Now, just like every other model, this model also has some assumptions, and here we are going to talk about those assumptions. The first thing that this model assumes is that audience is active. You see, if I am making choices for myself, I'm an active user. Like if I decide, okay, I want to watch a drama on Hum TV, I'm an active user. Like I am making my choice consciously. It's not like someone is exposed. I mean, it's not like I'm being exposed to drama and I'm just absorbing information, whatever comes my way. It's not like that. I have made an active choice by choosing for myself what I want. If I read Reader's Digest or Time magazine or any other magazine of my choice, that is an active choice. It means that I have actively chosen for myself what I want. It's not like someone has made me do it and I'm doing it by not knowing, or by not consciously actually involving my choice in it. Does that make sense? So this model first of all assumes that audience are active. They are actively choosing, selecting for themselves what they want. And then this is first assumption. Then this model also assumes that audience make motivated choices. Now let me tell you what is the meaning of motivated choice. Let's see, I watch a drama on Hum TV. I like it, and that liking motivates me to watch more dramas on Hum TV. See, audience, actually it says that by your usage of media, your usage motivates you to go for more. Has it ever happened to anyone that you go to Facebook just to scroll down, see, let's see what world is doing, but sometimes you spend maybe 30 minutes or maybe an hour, half an hour on that, and then at the end you say, oh no, I have wasted too much time on Facebook, let's do something productive, let's work on my assignment or something. Has it ever happened to you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure it
All the
happens.
time. You know, sometimes all these social media can be so addictive. Specifically, I love using Twitter because, you know, Twitter is all about getting information all around the world. So when you go there, you actually get stuck there because one by one there's so many different news and so many information coming from all around the world. तो आप बहुत ज़्यादा hooked हो जाते हो वहीं पे. So this
Yes.
happens with me a lot.
See, very good. See, so this second information that you see on screen, it says that audience make motivated choices based on their previous experience from media. Like I said, I watch a drama on Hum TV and my liking of that drama motivates me to watch more dramas on Hum TV. Okay? Third, another assumption of this model is that media is considered to be the only way amongst others for satisfying needs. Well, this does not happen all the time. Yes, we do use media for gratification, for satisfaction of our needs. I mean, there may be need of information, like in my case, there may be need of entertainment, there may be need of relaxation, or anything. But sometimes we do consider other sources for gratification or for information. What about a person who wants who wants to hang out with friends? I mean, that is his way of gratification. Like, he doesn't spend way too much time on media. Go ahead, someone wanted to say something.
Okay, so I think this is like the best example which जो मेरे ज़हन में at the moment आ रही है. Okay, so as we were talking about the gratification, it's not same for everyone. If I use Twitter for information and for news, so my walid sahab or my like my father basically watch TV for getting news. So उनका gratification level वहाँ से आता है, rather than me getting it from social media and he getting it from the news, watching news. ये काफी different है, because you cannot be on the same level. जैसे if we talk about back in times how newspaper was so important, you know, पढ़ना and every single thing, but now I think वो इतनी outdated हो गई भी है that nobody had any idea now कि वो newspaper अब इतनी चलती भी हैं कि नहीं. But then there are some people who are still stuck on reading newspapers. So I think that is their gratification level.
Yes, very good example. Now, with that, I have finished my lecture for today. My slides have also ended. I also wanted to tell you that soon after I end this session, I'll upload it on Moodle. I'll upload recording on Moodle. I am going to share 2 notes with you on Moodle. Please listen to this carefully. There is a file which is optional for you to read. That is actually research article, the original research article by Katz, Bloomer, and Gurevich, okay, which was published back in 1973 or 74. I understand that is a piece of writing which comes from a scholarly journal. Some of you may find it a bit daunting to read, but you do not have to read it. It's optional. For those of you who want extra information or who really want to dig deeper to know about the model, okay? So that I will write in parentheses with that file that this file is optional for you to read. Then I am going to also upload book chapter. I have been using Dennis McQuill's book to teach models. So I'll upload that as well. Again, for this model, I have only taught you the basic concept. What is the basic concept? Like other models, again, this model was also extended. Remember, we have been studying extensions that, okay, yeah, this model came in this year, and 20 years after this model came, there were scholars who kind of extended this model. Just like other models, this model also has extensions, but I think at this level, only familiarizing you with the basic concept is sufficient. Of course, you will be reading about this model at length in upper level course. So if you want, you can go over the whole notes that I sent you, and with that, I'll also upload a PowerPoint presentation. Okay? A copy of the PowerPoint presentation. For my class on Thursday, I will not do this virtual session. However, I will upload a recorded lecture on propaganda model. That is our next model. So today we discussed a model which was related to audience, like this is known as an audience-centered model. And next we are going to do models related to organizational models. How media organizations intervene in the process of dissemination of information, and for that propaganda is an important thing to learn. Okay? Now I have 5 minutes left for this class. If you have any questions, I'll let you ask now. I know Sheikh Ali Asad Noor wanted to ask me, he wanted to discuss his exam evaluation with me. If I run out of time for this meeting, don't worry, Ali Asad, I'll send you another Zoom invite for a one-on-one meeting with you. Questions, please.
I want to ask you about the final, and like if we have more assignments in this course, what else is left now?
Okay, after this week, we will have 5 more weeks to go. Okay? And for those, of course, there will be a final exam, which I will give you on Moodle, because this is now university's policy. Exams will happen online. Like we don't, even if we are back to campus after February the 1st, still I'm supposed to give you exam online. Okay? But there is one more presentation for you. one more presentation after this recorded, and this is mentioned in your syllabus. For that, you see, I planned in my syllabus that it was it was going to be face to face, because the presentation that you just did was recorded. You didn't do a question answer session for that. However, for that presentation, which we are going to do now, there will be a question answer session as well. But I do not know if we are back to campus, then I'll go by what is mentioned in course outline. But if the situation does not change, and if we are doing online, then I'll have to think about another form of assessment. And honestly, I haven't thought about that yet. Does that make you happy?
It's
Ma'am,
okay.
this audio
I-
presentation is a good option.
I know. I mean, I thought about this, that maybe I can do virtual, like this kind of session where student can come present and rest of us can ask him or her
Exactly.
questions.
आप एक certain
We
time
can
limit
do
दे
about
दें,
that.
then we can
Yeah,
do that.
but I'll have to think about the, I mean, I do Zoom sessions that allows us 40 minutes max, and people keep coming, joining and everything. That has its own limitations. Again, I haven't thought that far, but I will soon.
But like one can keep a check ना कि किस किसने दे दी और कौन कौन रह गया. हमारी वीक में 2 क्लासेस होती है, इतनी ज़्यादा लोग तो है नहीं क्लास में.
Let me tell you, I have been having hard time keeping my students motivated. There are so many students who are missing their exams, and I'm not going to I mean, I'm not going to, yes, I will compensate them, but I will not grade them out of the same marks. Of course, it would be unfair with those who have been vigilant and who submitted their assignments on time. Now I have less than a minute. Any other question?
मैं झूठ नहीं बोलूंगी, नहीं दिल करता पढ़ने को घर में. बिल्कुल दिल नहीं करता, नहीं पढ़ा जाता. Like I badly want university to open, apart that friends वाला part.
Me
लेकिन
too.
मोटिवेशन ही नहीं रहती. घर पे है ना तो अच्छा कल कर लेंगे. आपको पता है मैं ये असाइनमेंट पहले कर सकती थी, लेकिन मैं घर में इतनी, एंड आई रियली वांट ऑल इंस्ट्रक्टर टू नो दिस वन थिंग कि हम घर हैं, इसका ये मतलब नहीं हम लिटरली फ्री हैं या वेले बैठे हुए हैं. वी हैव सो मच थिंग्स टू डू घर पे, क्योंकि हमारे पेरेंट्स को तो ये बात समझ आती नहीं है.
I
उन्हें
understand.
होता है कि घर पे ही है.
Yeah,
तो
I
यू नो
understand.
लाइक आई वाज लिटरली मेरे लास्ट मिनट पे मैं हंस रही थी अपने ऊपर कि मैं 30 सेकंड्स लेट थी असाइनमेंट सबमिट कराते हुए. लेकिन वी कांट हेल्प इट बिकॉज़ घर में इट्स वेरी हार्ड.
Yeah, I understand what you are saying, but we all are in the same boat when it comes to online teaching. I hope things will look up soon. Now, with this, I'm ending the session. If you have any question, feel free to write an email to me. Okay? Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Allah Hafiz.
Okay.